All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Go&Do pod. We're here, episode 3, with our guy, Jack Moulton. You will see we are missing one of our co-hosts, Luke Conrad. We miss you dearly. Wasn't able to be with us today. But yeah, here with Jack Moulton. Tell us about yourself, where you served.
Yeah, so my name is Jack Moulton. A little bit about myself. Grew up here in Meridian, Idaho. Currently, I'm working property management, going to Boise State as well, and got married in December. So
Shout out Miley.
Shout out Miley.
We love Miley,
Miley's
though.
goated.
yeah, so I mean, I don't know what.
Just take us through like the years you served.
Yeah.
The areas you served. How many like companions you had? Like kind of those basic overview stuff. Like.
Yeah, so I served from July 2021 to July 2023. Areas I had 6, and then I had 12 companions. So basically 2 companions an area. One of them was like 1 and one was 3, but averaged out to about 2.
Nice.
Take
Take us just like a brief rundown of your areas real quick.
Yep.
Yeah, so I started out in Greenville, North Carolina.
More city, more country, like.
Yeah, a little more city. It's got like Eastern Carolina University there.
Oh, cool.
Oh, nice.
Um,
Is that the Pirates? I didn't know that.
Pirates. So
Big Pirates.
Purple.
Yep.
Okay.
So they've got that. So it's cool. It's like kind of a college feel, which is cool. So that's where
Switch me real quick.
Okay.
You go. There we go.
Gotcha.
Back.
So yes. So starting Greenville, that's where I was trained. Then I transferred to Lumberton, North Carolina. That's definitely a little more like boonies, southern North Carolina. That's actually where Michael Jordan's dad got murdered. If it's a little interesting fact I learned while I was there. So
Am I stupid for not knowing
No.
his dad got murdered?
You're not. You're not at all.
yeah, he was like,
Well,
in
you
a-
know he quit. He quit to play baseball for that year. That was because his dad died. I didn't know he got murdered, and I didn't know it was.
Yeah, he was
literally
like,
there.
he was driving, I think,
I don't
to
know
or
ball.
yeah, he was like driving to or from Wilmington, which is the coast where like Michael Jordan
okay.
grew up, and he like was taking a nap in his car in like a motel parking lot in Lumberton, and it like some kids came up and like shot him and stuff,
Jeez.
stole his car. So
Wow.
yeah, kind of interesting, a little dark, but Lumberton. Yeah, so I was there for a couple transfers, and then I went to Nightdale, North Carolina. That is like suburbs of Raleigh. It's just like 20 minutes east of Raleigh. And then from there, I went to Rocky Mount, which is like northern, eastern North Carolina. Probably like an hour from the Virginia border, but it's up there, kind of like boonies again.
More boonies.
Yeah.
Yeah, more boonies. And then from there, went to Holly Springs, which is south of Raleigh, more like suburbs, kind of.
Yeah.
And then from there, I went to Jacksonville, North Carolina, which is,
It's not to be confused with Jacksonville, Florida.
yeah, not to be confused.
Not to be confused with
Yeah.
Florida.
Yep. So yeah, those are my 6 areas. But
Nice.
a little brief.
Just for anybody not knowing what a transfer is, because Jack used it a couple times there, it's just a 6-week period interval that like the missions all run off of. So when Jack says he was there for like a couple transfers, like 2 transfers, pretty much equivalent to like 3 months. So that's just a little tidbit there.
So within the Raleigh mission, would you say there's like a good balance of like city, suburb, and also boonies? Did you say it was mostly city, mostly boonies? How do you feel like that balance was?
Yeah, I mean, the mission had there was a lot of like areas in the Raleigh area, so a lot of like
Okay.
city, but there's still plenty like boonies as well. And I know actually since I've served, they have switched the boundaries. So the Raleigh mission, I don't believe has any like of the coastal areas actually anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that more Charlotte now then? Or?
It's no, so that is I think the Charleston, South Carolina mission.
Ah,
Yeah.
interesting. Okay.
So that actually happened like a year after I got home.
Okay.
So it's actually the
A
mission
little bit
may look a
different.
little bit different now. I think a couple of my areas are now in the Charleston, South Carolina mission.
Interesting.
So just a little heads up there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, to take it way back, Jack, when you first, you're doing your papers, you get your call, as everybody does when they're going on a mission. Just take us through, like, because he's also a twin, for those of you who don't know, and you and Eric pretty much went out at the same time, right? But did you get your calls on the same day, or was it different days?
Yeah, so we actually got them same exact day, and
wow.
we opened them back to back. So
Okay, nice. So who opened them first? Was it you or was it?
So-
I was there. We were there. We were there at his
were there.
opening.
Yeah, it was
I,
in
the
yeah.
living room.
I think it was.
yeah, Eric.
Eric was first.
Yeah.
Wasn't he?
So
Yes.
my brother opened his first,
Texas.
and that was crazy because, what we didn't really we wanted to go to like similar type missions.
Mhm.
So it's weird because like he opened his first, and it was Houston, Texas, or the Houston East mission,
Mhm.
and like now I'm like, gosh, like I hope I go somewhere like similar, like it'd be cool to have similar experiences. So I was just hoping I wasn't gonna go to like some crazy like different, it would have been cool, but so yeah, opening and seeing Raleigh, North Carolina, it was cool because we had a lot of similar experiences.
Yes,
which was
take us
cool.
through like those emotions, like when you first read, like, oh, Raleigh, North Carolina, and like, what's out there? What's going on out there? What's happening there?
Yeah, I mean,
Like, just your feelings about how you felt about it.
Yeah, I mean, I remember I said it wrong. I was like Raleigh, and my dad was like, "No, it's Raleigh."
Got a web.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
Got a law dog.
Yeah. So yeah, I didn't really know much, but I knew. I mean, I followed college basketball, so immediately I was like, okay, what university is there? And like Duke is right in there,
Mm-hmm.
UNC, NC State, right there around Raleigh.
Big time,
Yeah, big time schools,
especially for basketball.
for basketball.
mostly.
Yeah, and so immediately I was like, oh, that'll be cool, like serving around, some of that like big time basketball. Like I
Yeah.
like to watch it, follow it. So that's kind of like immediately where my like head went. I think was just like, oh, like basketball, like it's got cool universities. Like, oh, that'll be
Yeah.
cool.
Okay, nice.
So yeah.
Good stuff. That's cool. Okay, switching gears just a little bit. Going out to Raleigh, they give you a big packing list from the mission. Every mission is a little bit different, obviously depending on weather, all that stuff. Was there anything, if anything, on the packing list that you didn't pack that you wish you would have, or opposite, that you packed like too much of, or that you packed that you didn't end up needing?
Yeah, I would say I definitely overpacked, especially with like these transfers.
Would you recommend that?
No,
Overpacking?
no, not at all. Especially if you're going like state,
Travel light.
especially if you're going stateside. Like anything you need,
So accessible.
your parents can Amazon you,
Yeah.
or you just go to Walmart or like
right down the street.
Kohl's. If
Right.
you, like it's just right there. So definitely,
That's a good point.
like not underpack, but like lean to like the lighter side of things, because I way overpacked, and then I had like 7 or 8 like long sleeve white shirts. I had a bunch of short, like it was just like way too much.
Yeah.
So, and it gets to become like a hassle when you're transferring, because
Mm-hmm.
you have, you got to fit all this stuff with other missionaries in a little car. Like it's just a pain. And then you got a bunch of crap you just don't use your whole mission.
Right.
So
Yeah.
definitely, get a couple just high quality like and collar shirts, and a couple pair, like 2 or 3 pair of really nice like golf pants that'll
Mhm.
last you like your whole mission. Lightweight. It's hot and humid there, so just lean lightweight. Get a nice rain jacket.
That's
I
good.
mean, just take 1 pair of shoes. Like once those wear out, just buy another pair out there. Like you don't need to bring.
Yeah.
That's like one of the
I actually
lessons
would
I
agree
took
with
away.
that too. Even though I did come with 3 and I used all 3 throughout my mission, I feel like even between apartments, there's always like things that are like left behind. Like some elder left behind like a nice pair of shoes.
Yeah.
Johnson and Murphy's like just mine, and I was like, I'm taking these. They're my size. Like, obviously don't expect that or lean on that, but like Jack said, everything's so accessible in the States. It's like, one of your pants rips, one of your shoes breaks down. It's like, hey, mom, dad, or even yourself, just go. You get on P Day, you call your parents, hey, can you send me out a new pair of shoes or a new pair of pants? And it's pretty seamless. I feel like I had my mom send me 40, 50
stuff.
packages of just like whatever I needed, really.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's a good point to make.
Yeah.
So you kind of overpacked, kind of made
Yeah.
that clear.
Overpacked.
Yeah, overpacked.
Big time.
But once you got out to Raleigh and stuff, like how did that go? What do they do when you first get there with like your trainers? How did that your first impressions of everything?
Yes.
How'd you meet your trainer, all that stuff?
So I know every mission. I mean, just talking to, like, my brother and like you guys and stuff, like friends. Every mission does it kind of like differently when you get there.
I mean,
So don't.
I think every mission president does it differently.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, exactly.
what
Like
was your experience like with just like the Raleigh?
Yeah, I
stuff?
mean, it was, it was a big change. Like you guys said, I have a twin brother, so like me and him had never been apart from each other for more than like maybe a day, like our whole
Wow.
lives. So like going out there is obviously emotional, saying bye to the family, like Eric, not gonna see him for 2 years, or at least that was the hope, like that was the ideal. I remember my mom, like, we were saying bye and she was like, "I'll see you in 2 years." It was kind of like, it was like almost like, wasn't like a threat, but it was like, you're not coming home.
Yeah,
Like
we will
you're
not
sticking
see
this
you
out. Yeah.
for 2 years.
So, but yeah, it was emotional. I mean, big change. I haven't really traveled much in my life. Not that like North Carolina's crazy traveling, but it was definitely a different feel. But
Different than playing slam basketball in Portland.
yeah, that's about the extent of my travels.
Yeah.
But it was good. I mean, got there, spent the first night in a hotel actually with all the new missionaries, and then the next morning you go meet your trainers. So yeah, and you go to like the local stake center and basically walk in, and you have a number, they had a number, they were holding it up, and it was like, find the matching number, and
no?
it was kind of, yeah. I mean,
They
so
couldn't do names for y'all.
no, I mean, it would have been too
You guys
difficult.
learned 8 numbers.
We were headed,
Prisoner B
yeah,
1837
they read it-
2
wrote
and a
them on their
half
arms, and- no, but
2.136.
yeah, there's like decimal points and stuff. So no, but it was so that, I mean, that's how we met, like our
Wow,
trainers and
that's
stuff.
funny.
So
That's cool. Another just quick logistical question. You mentioned that you have like those kind of small, mid-sized cars. In your mission, did most companionships have cars? Were there a lot of people on bikes? Was there any public transit, walking, anything like that in the areas?
yeah, so if you were in like the Raleigh area, there was like bus systems, which we rode like occasionally, but most of the time the areas were just like really weird shapes sometimes. So like a lot of times they weren't super useful for us. But yeah,
Like the bus routes didn't match up with like
Yeah,
the design,
like,
the
yeah.
shape of the area.
So like they weren't, at least for me, they weren't super useful. But I would say probably 75% of people had cars, like companionships. But then a lot of people would also share cars. So you'd share with another companionship, and like you'd, 1 week on, 1 week off, basically. So I would say like probably like 75% of my mission I had a car, and then a couple areas I like shared where I was biking a lot. So
Cool.
yeah.
So with your first, meeting your trainers, figuring out, did you guys have a car that first with your trainer and stuff? Or
Yeah, we did. So Raleigh to Greenville, my first area was about like 2.5 hour drive, and the
wow.
Greenville area was actually pretty large. That my first area, so we kind of needed a car. That's kind of how they like divvied it up. Is if you're in like if your area was really big,
They prioritize.
yeah,
based on,
prioritize exactly. And if you're like
area
closer
size.
to like the triangle, like Raleigh, then you would like most likely share a car or like even bike. Like there's
Gotcha.
some areas like that. So
So with that, that's a long drive, 2.5 hours.
yeah.
What was going through your head and like, meeting this trainer for the first time? Was he kind of giving you the rundown in the areas? What was your first impression seeing all of like North Carolina and driving to your area, all that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of surreal because you're like, wow, I'm like out here now. Like
Yeah.
my whole life, I knew I was gonna go on a mission. The idea was like right after high school, just get it done. And now you're like there first, and that's when it's like kind of hits. You're like, dang, like I'm gonna be out here for 2 years.
Yeah.
Like
It hits hard.
it hits
It
hard,
does.
and like I think having a good trainer, I mean, that's huge. Like I'm sure you guys would agree. Like having one where
yeah.
like you guys get along, because that's like your first impression of missionaries, first impression of like a mission, really.
Oh yeah.
And so, his name's Elder Carter. Me and him were cool, so like I'll say his name, but he was cool. Unfortunately, like, yeah, the like 2 days before he got me, actually, he had ruptured like a disc in his back. So he actually was pretty. He like couldn't move very well, actually, and so
gosh.
he actually went home after our first 6 weeks together to get back surgery.
Dang.
So
I
like,
don't feel like I remember you saying that.
no, I didn't really like say it that much. I feel like I haven't told a lot of people, but the first like transfer for me, we like honestly didn't. We weren't able to like do a lot. I feel like
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
he was like bedridden like a lot because it was just like it hurt so bad. Like he like could not move sometimes.
Dang.
So it was kind of a weird first transfer and like weird first few days because he was just like he told me he's like, listen, my back is like shot
Yeah.
basically. But you know, before it happened, he had already like been called to be a trainer and everything. So like
Was it kind of one of those things where he's like, I'll stick this out and see how it goes?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
I might have to go home.
exactly,
And then I was like,
yeah.
okay, you got to go home.
Yeah, and so basically got like a few weeks in, it basically got to the point where the mission president was like, listen, like you're gonna have to get surgery, you know.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it was kind of weird first transfer, weird first few like introduction in the mission because I like it wasn't like the rest of my mission because there was a lot of kind of like sitting around like cold calls, just like doing phone stuff, which was like, you know, it was that stuff still works, but I was kind of expecting to just like hit it hard, you know, the first few days, like out knocking doors and stuff, but it was a different experience at first. So
It's always funny. Like I think back to driving in my area with my trainer for the first time, and he's just like describing to you the area and like people you're teaching, and it's just
yeah,
all over your head.
Yeah.
Like, you're just like, I have no idea.
They're like, they're progressing,
what's
they're
going on.
elect. They're like throwing terms at you, and
Yeah.
you're like,
Oh
what's
yeah,
going on?
celestial parking.
yeah,
You go and get like lunch after you meet your trainer, and you're just like,
They like tell you to like get out and back. You're like,
what? What do I do? You're
Yeah.
like,
what's happening?
by the end of your mission, you just like
You're literally
just
there.
walk 2 steps.
Staring at them. They like back out. You just get in the car. They're
You're
like,
in the
I think I need to go back a little bit more. You're like, just
you're in front of the car while they're backing. You're like, I'm technically outside. Like, you're good. Like you
I
got a
can see-
backup.
I can see up there.
You got a backup camera. Like just look at that. That's how it was.
One of my biggest
That's
pet
funny.
peeves, bro, but we won't get into that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so getting a little more into what you did on your mission, what would you say like the biggest finding method was as a whole in the Raleigh mission? Would it be knocking,
Great question,
member work?
Cakes. 'Cause I was thinking about that.
Yeah. It honestly
Wait,
depended.
tackle that, and then tackle what was your favorite one that you like did like find.
Yeah,
So like
yeah.
do like the overall, and then be like, this is my favorite way of
Yeah.
like, doing this though.
I would like it honestly depended on the area, I would say as well. Like some areas you got really good ward support, like good ward like missionaries, and so using members and the families in the ward was like big because they would like, you know, they're all there helping you, like, hey, like come, you know, I got a buddy, like come teach him, or so a lot of like was member referrals in some of the areas. You know, like we'd use like Facebook and stuff, but I would say that wasn't super like useful. And it depended how you did it too. Like there
Right.
are wrong and right ways to do everything.
Sisters were pretty successful. usually.
Yeah, I mean,
Facebook.
some of the sisters were more successful, but
It's true. It's true.
yeah, they didn't want to. You know, they saw my friend request and they're like, yeah, nah, like who's this kid? But yeah, I would like, you know, you go out, talk to people, like street contacting and stuff, but that was a little more useful in like the more urban areas.
Okay.
But some of these like rural areas are, you know, like you go to a park and it's desolate, you know,
Yeah.
because it's just like kind of a smaller rundown community. Like
Mhm.
people aren't really walking around like they are in Meridian, Idaho, you know, with their kids
Right,
and
yeah,
family and
yeah.
stuff. So I would say just like depend. Like some areas we'd knock doors and that would be successful. Sometimes you'd literally walk around outside and you wouldn't see a soul, or I don't know. It just depended. Like it just depends. And like in our mission, actually, we weren't allowed to like tract in
Oh,
some
really?
areas. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Was
this
that just like strict, like no soliciting, no
yeah, like
knocking,
our
no
mission
disturbance rules, or like what was that about?
like our mission presidents just had I think they just had a idea that tracting wasn't super effective.
Okay.
And so, you know, I like hearing my parents and like older people that went on missions, they're like, yeah, you're just knocking doors all day. So that's like
That's
kind of
all
what I
it is.
It's a
expected.
real thing.
And so I got out there and it was like, oh, we're not, you know, first off, I'll kind of leave my first transfer off the table because he couldn't really walk around. But I was kind of expecting like, oh, we're just going to go like hit the neighborhoods, hit the apartment complexes, like whatever we can, just knock doors. But it was more like, yeah, I mean, you're just like calling people, you're like asking members for referrals, you're street contacting like parking lot contacting, which I
Yeah.
hated. But
Interesting.
yeah,
I only did
so
parking lot contacting like a few times in my mission. It was towards the back end. Not my favorite thing either, just because I feel like people are like trying to get in one place and out to their car and leave. I've never stopped at like Walmart and like, man, I really wish I really wish to have like a conversation with somebody right now at this present moment.
yeah.
I mean, if it comes, of course, I wouldn't be like mean or anything to them, but like I'd never go to a grocery store or even a store in general. Like, man, I just hope to have a conversation walking from my car to the Nike store right now.
Yeah, it didn't work.
So
it didn't
that's
Or
work.
it's different like a park or like
way
you're just
different
out,
at a park where
chilling,
you're just
Yeah.
just hanging out, chilling.
Yeah, for sure.
There's definitely more. There was like more natural ways to talk to people,
Oh, for
and
sure.
really that was like the biggest thing was just like, how can I like, in a not weird way, start a conversation with somebody? Because if you come across weird like immediately or like pushy and like, yo, why are you like, I'm putting groceries in my car, like why are you trying to talk to me right now? Like
They're
they
like
just
putting their kids in their
yeah.
like,
I mean,
their what's it called, car seat, and you're like, so excuse me.
yeah.
And they're like, oh
or
my
like you go up
gosh.
to him like, hey, can I take your cart back for you? And then oh, by the way, and it's just like it was just weird. I didn't like it.
Yeah. fair.
I mean, so it whatever works, I guess. But to me, I didn't see much success from that. It
So
felt
what was your favorite one? Out of all the ones that you tried and the areas had you do, what was your favorite one?
I would say so. Towards the end of my mission, they actually became more friendly with like tracting, like knocking doors, and so
So that was your favorite.
yeah, that was my favorite. It just felt like there's just you could stay busy doing that all the time, you know. And
That's
like
true.
it never got old because it was just like fun because you never knew what to expect. Like you knock the door and you're like, yo, someone could come out screaming at me with a gun, or like they could be super nice. It was just like it made the time go by because you're like, there's just always doors to knock and you never knew what to expect, and it was like fun.
And you're with somebody.
Yeah,
I
and
feel
you're
like
with somebody.
companions make a difference because like we've all done door to door. Knocking alone definitely different than knocking with
Oh
a
yeah,
companion.
yeah.
Definitely.
So,
And it was fun to have like a companion that was super talkative, you know, and like you guys would almost like you just felt like you felt so comfortable when you're with somebody that you really liked
and
You guys
secure
were
almost.
secure, yeah, and like you felt like you guys were just already having such a good time together.
It
And
didn't
so-
matter what happened on the other side of that door.
Yeah, you
shut
would-
it, slam it, yell at you, and you're just like,
You just
all right.
laugh it off, you know,
Yeah,
and like you'd be walking, someone would just like yell at you, like yell the F bomb, like F out of here and stuff.
Yeah.
But then you just like walk away and you guys are like laughing because you're like,
Yeah,
it's just like whatever, you know, you just laugh. it
yeah.
off.
Like how sorry can that guy be?
Yeah, exactly. So,
Soul.
so
I like it. So knocking doors was your favorite.
yeah, I
Good
think
deal.
so. Yeah, I didn't mind it. So
Yeah, nice.
So what was it like just serving in the Bible Belt, the South area? Did you ever run into any pastors, any other church groups that you felt like gave you some pretty hefty opposition? Any like experiences like that?
yeah, so these people have the Bible Belt. They've got their beliefs already. So a lot of like Baptists, Protestant, lots of Catholics. There were even Jehovah's Witness as well. Like, but mostly Baptists, like these Southern Baptists. Like they're pretty strong in their faith already. So they were super nice, and like they were really friendly. But they just like it was hard because they knew who we were most of the time, and they kind of thought they already had this like kind of
preconceived notion.
yeah, of what we believe, like, oh, you worship Joseph Smith, or like, oh, you like, and so it's almost like someone wouldn't even give us the light of day, like the chance, because they just thought like, oh, you believe in a different Jesus than us, like we don't,
Right.
like you guys are nice, and we're cool with you, but like, hey, listen, I don't want anything to do with what you believe. So like a lot of people just really strong in their faith, like the Bible is it. There's nothing else. So like you bring in this other book, this other scripture, and people kind of start to like, whoa, what do you mean? Like, you don't just use the Bible? It's like, oh no, like there's we believe in the Bible, but we've got this other testament of Jesus Christ, and they almost just like, oh, I don't know, like that's just like that's nothing.
Blasphemy to
Yeah,
them.
exactly.
Yeah.
So
how were you able to like overcome some of those? Because I know like the Bible Belt and stuff is a big thing, and people do have their beliefs down there, and they're so one way, with the Bible. How were you able to overcome, or like what were some examples of you being able to like overcome those objections, that opposition to like the Bible, and that's it?
Yeah, I mean, you really
If
had.
any. I mean, if any.
Yeah, I mean, you had to use the Bible a lot when you taught, because that's how you almost had to break through to these people was using the Bible. So you taught, you try to like preface it in a way of like, hey, there's, Jesus went, he talked about at this other fold that he had to like go
Right.
teach, and like we'd use that a lot, to like, hey, listen, don't you think that there were other people that Jesus Christ wanted to like, he didn't just visit the people there. He was probably visiting people all over the world. And so that's kind of how we like tried to like preface it, like, hey, there's this other full like
Using something they already believe in
exactly
to support something you were going to
exactly
teach
like
them.
that was huge. Like you couldn't go in there just like, hey, here's the Book of Mormon, like let's look at some of this stuff, because they're like, why would I mean, you can like, they could read it and feel the spirit, but you had to like, you couldn't just start with that. You had to start with something they believe and use that to kind of then introduce
bridge
the
some
Book of
sort of
Mormon.
gap.
Exactly, yeah. Because these
Gotcha.
people like, the Bible was their thing, like they wouldn't even give the Book of Mormon a chance,
Yeah.
because it was just so foreign to them.
Gotcha.
Okay. So in meeting all these different kinds of people, I feel like sometimes as a missionary, you sometimes feel like you have to put up like this face, this show of like, oh, I'm this missionary, I'm super official sort of thing. But a lot of times, to be the most effective, you have to come in the most normal and natural ways to be able to get through to people and talk to people, because at the end of the day, we were humans, like just like they are, just with a name tag on. So going into your mission, what skills do you think you brought from before your mission and your growing up here in Meridian, Idaho, to be able to help you as a missionary on Raleigh?
Yeah, I don't mind talking to people. I enjoy talking to people. And so I just kind of like this, like it didn't scare me. I wasn't
Yeah.
nervous to do it. And so I tried to just be like, yeah, I mean, I just tried to be myself, like I didn't, they had like, you'd be taught certain ways to approach people and like what to say. But I sometimes I try to just, like, hey, what's up, man? Like, and then you'd try to, oh, like, you got a Duke flag out there? Like,
Yeah.
they've got a Duke or North Carolina flag up, or like
Yeah.
NC State. And so, I liked basketball, like following college basketball. So, you just start with that. Like, hey, oh,
you go.
like, that's so sick. Like, UNC, man, they're looking good this year,
Yeah.
and like, you just, and that would like open up to people, because they see you walking up and they're like, oh, they either think you're the cops, FBI,
Yeah.
or the Mormons. And so it's like, okay, I don't want anything to do with the cops or the FBI. And like, I don't want anything to do with the Mormons either. So you like had to like, there, you just like, you walk up and you're not dressed like them. You're like, you got your tie on, you've got like nice slacks, you've got your nice shoes on. They're just kind of like, what do these guys want?
Yeah.
And so you just had to like go up there and talk to them and like quickly put something out there. Oh, you like, oh, like your truck, man, or like, oh, that's sweet. Like, hey, we're just in the area, and like, I saw you like that NC State flag up. Like, oh, you follow ball or whatever, and you just like start talking to them about that, and then usually that would lead into them like, all right, like, what are you guys out here? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Right.
Because they knew you didn't want
Try to make them ask the question.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
they
for
knew
sure.
you weren't just going up to them to talk ball. They were like, all right, like,
What's your angle?
what's your angle here? But you just had to show quickly that you were just like normal. Like, you're not
Yeah.
these weirdos. So like
Yeah.
starting it off with just something random, like just pick out anything and like, oh, I like your shoes, man, or like whatever, because that just like, that broke down like a barrier pretty quickly, instead of you're like, listen, man, have you ever seen this book before? And there's like, get out of here, man, like, and sometimes that'd work. I'm not saying that
Gets
doesn't
you and your
work.
ugly companion have fun.
Yeah, gets you into like, but no, I mean, it is like, it's just, that's how I tried to do it. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't, but I try to just be normal, like just be yourself, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's all it is.
That's like a common theme in a lot of these interviews we've done already is like, hey, like I think Stockton said it best in the last episode, like you bring your personality with you. And it's not going to do anything but enhance your experience on your mission. Like don't try to change yourself, like bring yourself to the mission, because it's just going to make everything easier. Because if you go on your mission and you're like, okay, who am I going to be as a missionary? I think you're going to fall short, or like you're going to have a harder time, instead of just like, hey, this is who I am. Now, how can I use who I am to be the best missionary I can be? instead of like, how can I change myself to be a missionary? It's more like, how can I make myself who I already am be the best version of myself as a missionary? You know what I mean? Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah.
You feel like you did that? Like,
Yeah,
you
I
know,
mean,
transition. It sounds like you did. You took your basketball knowledge, your love of basketball, and just talking to people in
yeah.
normal and natural ways to the mission.
Yeah, you just got to be yourself. I mean, and that's what's so beautiful about it is like, you may get into a situation talking to somebody or teaching somebody, and you just like you yourself feel like, hey, I'm not like, oh dang, I'm not really getting through these people, or like, oh, they don't care about anything. Like, I've got nothing in common with them. Like, I don't even really know how to like. And the next thing you know, your companion swings in and like saves the day. It seems like, and
Yeah.
it's just like cool, like because you're really paired up with people that you're supposed to be, even if it was hard, even if it was like, you guys had the same exact personalities. You guys were like boys, they bring different skill set than you do, and like just to see it like work sometimes, like in these conversations with people is incredible because you're just like, "Yeah, I've got a loss of words. Like, I don't know what to say next, or like,
Right,
I'm not getting through these people. Next thing you know, your companion like swings and you're like, oh, what? Like, that's cool, like, like, I didn't know. Oh, I didn't know, like, I didn't know you like had
Knew
that in your
about
bag.
NASA.
Yeah, exactly. So like, it's cool though. It's really cool, like to
sure.
see. It is like, um, we're with our companions for a reason. Like,
Yeah,
God has a
I like
hand in
that.
it for sure. So.
Definitely. And I think something cool about that aspect too of just like bringing your skills and personality, I mean yourself too and your companion, is even if with the person you're trying to talk to or teach, even if they aren't super interested in what you have to say, you're still just being at their level. So again, we've talked about like contacts with different people. Like the more good contacts people have with the church, the better vibe they have. If they haven't met anybody and they just heard all this random stuff about our church, about our beliefs, and they think we're weird. Oh, they have a conversation with an elder one day about basketball. Now it's like, oh, like they're actually normal people. So maybe the next time they're a little more open to speaking with you guys. I think that's just something to always remember when you're out there in the field. That just if you bring your personality, you're going to make an impact on people, even if you don't teach and baptize them.
For sure.
And that's a super cool thing to remember.
For sure.
Going into your companions a little bit, you talked a little about the good, how sometimes they can swing in and save the day and know exactly what to say, which happens all the time. I'm sure you did actually. I'm not going to ask if you had a hard experience with your companions, but how did you handle any adversity, any arguments, experiences with your companions? How did you best face that?
Yeah, definitely had a couple that I had a hard time with.
Just go ahead and name drop them real quick.
Yeah,
Name drop
yeah,
them,
so I
tell us where
wanna-
they live.
We'll like tag their Instagrams on here. No,
Shout out Elder Carson. He sucked.
No, but yeah, I mean, you just got to go in there knowing you're gonna have problems with at least one companion. Like, it's just inevitable. I had 12, and it was just like the chances that you're gonna be able to live with 12 different guys for 2 years and not have a problem is just like
From all different backgrounds,
exactly,
places,
exactly.
everything.
So like you're just gonna have an issue, and you gotta like. I had some arguments, and we'd be mad at each other, but ultimately you just focus yourself back into what you're trying to do out there, because it's not about you, it's not about him, it's not about your little argument you just had, or like, oh, like where are we gonna eat tonight, or like, oh, what, like who's driving, like at the end of the day you have to just focus back on your purpose out there, and like, okay, like we just gotta get through this lesson, let's just get through the day, we'll sleep this off and then tackle it again tomorrow. So yeah, I mean, I'd have my arguments, but sometimes you wouldn't work it out. Like you just oh, I don't like that guy. I don't like what he said. Like you've got an issue, but you just got to put it to the side and like keep working, and it does get better. I wouldn't say any of my relationships with my companions got like. It seemed like we'd have issues, but then something funny would happen, and you would like both laugh and stuff, and kind of like just move on. It's yeah, I mean, I don't know. You just put your focus and put your anger and frustration just back into the work and work harder that day and try to forget about it. So
yeah. I feel like the best companions I had were companions that's exactly what we did. Like at the end of the day, we're here because we love Jesus, not because we love each other. But if we love Jesus, we're inevitably going to at least respect each other and tough love each other sometimes, you know? And I feel like one of my biggest lessons from my companions is like, you know, is to do that. Like, as long as the core of what you're doing and who you're with is Jesus Christ, you're going to be okay. That was one of the things that me and Ella always talked about when we were first like talking about marriage and stuff, is like, I don't even want this to be about me and you. I want this to be about Christ and like the gospel first. And then the next level up to that is me and you. How do you feel like your companions have helped you, like, you know, with your marriage and stuff? Do you feel like they have?
Yeah, I mean, I would say I'd have some companions like they'd get on me. You know, I was doing something I wasn't supposed to be. You know, I wasn't like no.
Zach,
Believe it or
come
not, like,
on.
I was not perfect. I know it's hard. I know it's hard to believe, but like you'd have some of my favorite companions would like, you know, be like, hey, elder, like, hey, like cut that out, or like, hey, don't talk like that, you know, like. And like part of me, I'd be like, I get mad at him for a sec. I'd
Oh
be
yeah,
like,
sure.
Oh, okay.
like,
Yeah,
what do you
for sure.
like? What are you telling me to
Like,
do?
shut
Like,
up.
shut up, man. Like what?
Shut up, Marcy.
Like, who gives you the right to talk to me like that? You know? But then like, or maybe you're training him, you know, and it's just like,
They like call higher ground on you.
No, I know,
Like,
yeah, but
you're right,
Trainee.
but you're my trainee, so
yeah,
shut up.
Yeah, exactly. So, but like, they were never wrong. Like maybe as I was doing something wrong. And
Why is that? They are never wrong when they're calling you out.
I don't
I
know.
swear
Like
it always happened that way.
yeah, and then I would get thinking about it. Maybe like later that night, you know, I'm mad at him the whole day, but I'm just like, dang, like yeah, he was right. And like so you almost like
You don't want to admit it.
yeah, you don't
Yeah.
want to admit it to him. Like yeah, you're right, man. It was just like
I was in the wrong.
Yeah.
Love you, elder.
but then like you do like respect him for like oh like he's just doing it because he cares about this work, and we both got to have our heads right
Yes.
to do this, because it's not for us, it's for these people we're teaching. And so
For sure.
I'm glad he put me in check, because I needed it.
That's the only way this is gonna work.
Exactly. And like how you're saying with marriage, sometimes that's the case too, you know, like put each other in check. Like Miley, she'll
Shout out Miley.
Shout out,
But,
Miley.
maybe I'll say something I shouldn't be, you know, and she'll be like, no, like don't say that, or like she'll like kind of get on me, you know, in like a loving
Notice the
way.
theme?
But
What he says.
yeah, it's what I say. It's not as much what I do. It's I say things, but
Good call, Cakes.
yeah, you're I don't know, you love them for it though. You're like, this is what I need. Like you need
Yeah,
someone to
yeah.
keep you in check. You don't want a pushover companion. You don't want pushover spouse. Like
For sure.
you want them to better you. Like
Yes.
and yeah, at the end of the day, it's good for you. So
Yeah. It's nice to have a married man on the pod.
yeah, well,
Ladies, hit me up.
Cakes, he's singled up.
Ladies, hit me up. I'm in Orem, Utah. Zip code 84058. Oh, man. All right, so kind of getting to wrapping up here. Was there a specific moment while you were out on your mission, or maybe a specific month or just time period while you're on your mission, that you really felt like this is why I'm here, or you really like got to know your purpose pretty well?
yeah. Geez, like there's so many like little things. Like it was almost like there wasn't like these huge like, you know, like crazy experiences, but it was just like these little ones like you have every day, every week, every month, where you're like wow, like that was cool, or like there's no way that was just like a coincidence. Something I think if I had like a week left in my mission, I was in Jacksonville.
Not
and-
Florida.
Not Florida.
Not Florida. No, I served in Raleigh, North Carolina.
North Carolina.
But
His name's Jack Mullen.
Jack Mullen,
Just
yeah.
relaying the baseline.
Yeah,
real
just
quick.
to put that out there.
Not
but
Florida.
Not Florida. So I'm not in Florida, and me and my companion are driving. It's July in North Carolina, next to the
Not
coast.
Florida.
Not Florida. I'm in North Carolina, but it's super hot, humid. It's probably like 90 something out, and I think we just had like a lesson fall through or something, and we just had like a little bit. We're like onto our next thing, and there's just like she looked like 80-something-year-old lady outside, and she's starting to like mow her lawn. And then keep in mind it's 90% humidity, like crazy hot out. Where it's like, holy cow, like what is she doing? Like, she clearly had no help, and so we just like get out of our car, park our car, pull up, and we're like, hey, like let us let us do that, you know, like let us help you out. And she was like, she literally told us like right then and there, she's like, oh my gosh, like I was praying that someone would like help me, like that God would help me with this, because I was like, you know, and she said I'm like 83, and she was like, just in no, she should not have been out there doing that. And she was like, I literally prayed like right before you guys got here that someone would help me, or like that God would help me through this.
Wow.
And like,
Chills.
yeah, I mean, it was like, you know, and she didn't want anything to like do with lessons or the church. She knew who we were. And like, you know, she had her beliefs, but it wasn't even about that. It was just like, well, you can't make this up. Like, you know, 20 seconds before we drive by, she's like literally asking God, like, I need help. Like, I can't do this. I'm going to have like heat stroke out here. And next thing you know, 2 missionaries are walking up her driveway. Like, let us do that. And we mowed her lawn, did everything for her. And,
Jack's wicked on the yard tools, by the way.
yeah,
He helped me with some yard work. And he's
so many years of experience.
Yes.
But like, it was just like that feeling where, you know, it's not like she went and got baptized. It's not like she wanted anything to do with our church, but you just know God is looking out for like his children.
Yeah.
It's not just, you know, members of the church that he's looking out for. It's not like, it's nothing like that. He's literally looking out for anyone that calls for his help. She was I think she's Baptist, you know, and she needed help, and God was there. He's like, hey, I've got two of my servants right around the corner. Let me send them your way, you know?
Yeah.
And it was just cool.
Yeah, I love that. I think it's important, exactly what you touched on. Like, at the end of the day, this person, whether they progress or excel in the gospel that, you know, the church teaches, they're still, at the end of the day, our brothers and sisters. They're still God's children, and he still has so much love for them. And I think a lot of missionaries get almost, discouraged, because they're like, yeah, this person that, like, this miracle happened to them. Like, how could they not see this? That she prayed, and then we, as representatives of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, came and helped her. How would she not be open to listening to us? How could she not? How should she not? And it's like, well, because at the end of the day, she's just not. But that doesn't change her circumstances or who she is in God's eyes and stuff. And I think as people remember that, you're going to have a lot more successful of a mission, because you're not going to be so locked in on, like, if they don't excel, it's a failure. When it's like, no, actually, if you guys would have just kept driving, it actually would have been a failure.
Yeah.
Because, like, the success is really in the effort that you put out there. So
yeah, and they always talk about planting seeds, right? Like, as a missionary, that's all you hear is like, oh, you're just planting seeds. But like, you really are. Like, she didn't want anything to do with us that day, like as far as like teaching goes, but she definitely walked away from that like, oh, like, you know, those Mormon missionaries were cool, you know, like that was really cool of them. And like God obviously, God obviously heard me and sent them my way. And you can't just like, you know, I don't know what she was thinking, but I hope she didn't just like, you know, ignore that. Like, well,
Sure.
There's something there, you know, and like, you never know. Like, she probably isn't going to become a member one day, you know, not in this life,
at 83.
not in this life, but, but like, you know, who knows what she's told her friends, like, yo, I was like having a hard time yesterday, but these like Mormon missionaries pulled up, you know? And like,
for sure.
you just never know what you do and how it affects the
For
people
sure.
you help, or you or other people down. Like, you just never know. So you just got to keep that mindset, your whole mission.
For
like,
sure.
So.
Yeah. Well, I think we'll go one more question, and then we'll wrap up. And I'll ask it. So when you think about Raleigh as a whole in your mission now, what's like one word or phrase that you think of, just as a reflection of your whole 2 years out there and what you did?
As far as like probably phrase, it's exactly what I needed. Because I would say, you know, my testimony, I had one before I left. But you know what, like, I just kind of went through the motions. Like, I wasn't, you know, I didn't know anything about, I really didn't know that much about our like beliefs, which I'm not like proud to say that, but it's like, I just didn't know that much.
Yeah, we knew this guy in high school.
He didn't know any of the beliefs.
We were way better than he was.
Yeah,
He was always saying
it's true.
crazy stuff.
It's true.
Not in Florida. So it was actually in Idaho.
But, you know, like, it was cool because God takes people that are just, you know, these missionaries that are 18, 19, you know, not prepared to go and do what they're about to do, but he uses us in, you know, whether it's just mowing some lady's lawn, you know, like, it doesn't have to be, it's not just gospel knowledge that he uses you for, or like to teach people. It's to serve. It's to be out there in the community to show that, hey, we care about what we believe. We don't know everything. I certainly didn't know everything. There's times I stumbled in lessons. There's times I said things that I shouldn't have, but
Said things again.
said things again. It's a theme here. But at the end of the day, God used us however he could. And he takes these young kids that aren't ready for what they're about to go do, and he uses them however he can. And it's exactly what I needed in that time of my life, and it shaped who I am today and who I'll be in the future. I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. So.
Love it.
Love that. Well, thank you so much, Jack, for being on here, answering our questions, saying all the right things this time around. Really appreciate you, your mission, Raleigh, North Carolina, not to be confused with Florida.
Yes.
At all. But just as Jack went out there and killed it in Raleigh, everyone, wherever you're called, you're going to be shaped in so many different ways. You're going to have so many different experiences, bad and good, that'll help you out. But just as Jack went and did, you can go and do as well. And that is episode 3. Thank you, Jack.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Appreciate you, Jack.